told us about what he expects from each of us, etc. So parang those kinds of things. It doesn't have to be structured. Another thing that we like to push is siguro maybe even you can communicate in terms of how do you say, like directional signs and stuff, you communicate a character, and this is something we're trying to do. This building kasi has been like this since 1983, before many of you were born. So we're using the
I told you. Because I was telling them, this is more than 25 years old already. So bear with us.
Before many of you guys were born. So parang we want to communicate in ways or rejigger things that conducive to communication. So if you look at HR, they're a really, really good example. If you look at the layout of HR, they're all open. Danny's like the big boss, but he sits like in one big open room so he can see everybody. Diba? And it lends to something, and I see it in the culture that people are more open with each other, they know what the other guy down 5 seats down is doing. Sa amin, baliktad. We're in communication. We each have a cube. So parang it does something. So parang I was telling our guys, like for our program, sana we can like go into those physical arrangements also. Because it does something to the way we communicate. Like my favorite, and Danny knows this, is like the ID. So like, my name is Maria Raquel Paula, but no one knows, but my ID says Maria Raquel Paula, but everyone calls me Kin. But if you look at my ID, and it's this small, if you see me, you might want to talk to me, but you don't know my name, so you won't allow me. But if I had an ID that said Kin, you'd probably say, hi Kin, how are you? Even though we've never really been formally introduced. So these are the things that when you guys go into your organizations, please don't think that the default is a newsletter, because it's not. Everyone wants a newsletter, and when the divisions come to us and say, Miss Kim, what do you think? We should do a newsletter. Please don't do that. Because no one, you guys, your business is not newslettering. Your business, because parang to them it's a hobby, which is nice, but there are those to do the beer and to make it cheap and to deliver it on time and reduce the delivery time from 5 to 4 days from the fact. So, there are other ways there are other ways to do communication. Newsletters there's so many different ways to do it. So please don't make it your default. Try to be creative. Intranet's good. The intranet's really good. That's how people communicate. Even like just the texting message. If you just institutionalize something like that, it should be okay.
And aside from that, maybe you customize your tools or the media that you use to your audience, to your employees, to your students, for example. If this kind of medium works for students and not work for employees, then so be it. So it would always on the kind of people that you want to convey your communication messages to. Right? So if it's not really a newsletter, it should work for a group of people, then think of something else. So, but now with the internet, images is always a priority. So the more raw the item or the article that you're presenting, young people would more appreciate that than the polished one.
That's right. Because there's always a bit of cynicism or skepticism.
It's real. Reality TV it wasn't there like 10 years or 15 years ago. So I think it comes with the changes in time, really.
Where are we?
Number
Contextual dimensions. I don't even know.
What do you mean by contextual dimensions?
Whose question is it?
Make things easier, we have A and B.
Okay.
A, culture. I have many things to say about that.
Although we have the standard, the old one that we have, I think Sylvia was able to share with you guys on that. Rituals, organizational rituals. I don't think we have a distinct or really unique ritual that we have here, but like I don't know if you might consider it as a ritual. Some of our plants would have a flag ceremony every Monday morning, especially though, and then even some would even have the morning exercises, especially those plants with affiliations with the Japanese partner, because it's an SOP for them. Some would have like breakfast, one breakfast with the plant manager, for example. I would consider that as ritual because it doesn't really, happen on a daily basis, but it does something to, well, one is communicating with the employees, and at least all the employees are updated with what's going to happen the next month or in the next week, or what major projects that the plant is going to have. At least people would know each, the role of each one towards the attainment or achievement of the project objectives or targets. Aside from that, I cannot think of any. I don't know any.
Organizational ritual. I don't know ritual, because that would mean like it has to happen like more than as I said, since Sinadani took over the employee relations, there've been so many more activities. So like, well, as I mentioned earlier, there was a Valentine's. This is the second year you've done this Valentine's thing. They actually have a searcher thing, and they've been very successful. They've had a good success rate. A couple of people last year hooked up and they're still together.
Yeah. And you ask them, don't break up until the next Valentine's program that we'll have, because they were showcased.
So those things, and then they have a Halloween party for the children. All our kids can come here. They have also one for the employees. They have lots of things. They have a dance crew.
Yeah, dance crew
competition.
We have a ballroom dancing competition. We have a singing competition.
They have competition. They have a chorale.
Chorale, that's Christmas.
So I guess those are the kinds of stuff. Na parang you get to see, because there's San Miguel na, as I said, so big, and so many new people have come in na hindi na namin kilala. So it's sometimes nice to get together in
an informal venue,
and then like compete in sometimes friendly competition. Who's the best singer? Who is the best whatever? And it goes a long way, I think, to cementing relations in the corporation.
Just like, for example, in this building, not everybody knows everyone. While you're holding in the same office, the same floor, you might see each other in the comfort room, but you don't really know each other. So these occasions are actually the ones that will provide, the informal interaction among employees, not just as staff and superior or subordinate kind of thing. Like this coming Saturday, we'll have our Fun Olympics, the first after 15 years, I think, or 10 years. More than that, so 1999. So it's going to be held at Splash Island in Laguna. So we'll just be competing, like there's a centipede walk, there's a trolley walk, there's a wall climbing, there's a zip line, a Zorb race, etc. So everything for fun, but for employees. Some of the plants would have their own family days, just like employees with their family members. We used to have one that I think held there in the Greens years ago also, but since we have a lot of employees who are Ortigas based, we cannot really have a huge venue that would accommodate both employees and their dependents. So the biggest attempt close to that would be the Christmas party that we had for the second time last December, wherein all San Miguel employees here in Ortigas came together for a Christmas party. So all the budgets of the divisions, we lumped them together to have a big Christmas party. So I think it's all a success, right? The second time around last December.
I think what they're trying to do, because in HR and ER, is to create, like, how when you're so big, like in the planta, they're solid sila. Like everyone knows each other, everyone's ninong to each other or whatever, and parang after work, they're drinking sila, whatever. Here we're like, how many base? 5,000 here in Ortigas alone. So what they're trying to do, and I think they have done to be successful and very good, is to create that sense of family. Now, it's hard to replicate in big organizations. because we're all so different, we're all so dispersed. But I think they've done a really, really good job. What makes a potential San Miguel intern?
Well, I guess if you have imbibed the values that Sylvia shared earlier, so that would mean you're aligned with the San Miguel values. So, like for example, in your family, you practice integrity, malasakit to your family members, etc. It's the same thing at a corporate organization. So, we would also expect our employees to have malasakit to the company. So, if you have to save on paper, then do your share. If you have to save on energy, do your share. If you are outside, you represent the San Miguel Corp as a good company and not otherwise. Things like those. Secondary to that would be your technical competency or whatever experience you have that you can bring into the company once hired. The educational preparation that you might have also. We don't look much on the school or the college you came from. There's we have specific tests and assessment processes that we have for each of the lines of discipline.